Not just any tomato, but a big, plump, sun-ripened tomato that glowed like a ruby in the hand of 10-year-old Ellis Monroe. He held it aloft in the sun, grinning with pride as his classmates oohed and awed. The garden behind Windermere Elementary School was bursting with produce. Tomatoes, peppers, marigolds, beans, and even the occasional rogue zucchini. It was beautiful, it was nourishing, and it was illegal. Because in the year 2045, under the National Order of Sanitation and Food Safety, private gardening had been outlawed in all of Greater Anglia. Hands in the air! A sharp voice echoed across the garden plots. Ellis dropped the tomato in fright. Teacher screamed. The school principal fainted into the kale. A battalion of gray-uniformed officers stormed the rows of vegetables, trampling onions and kicking over crates of harvested produce. At the center of it all was a woman in an aggressively pink power suit, platinum hair slicked back like a villain from a 90s cartoon. She pointed dramatically at the children. "This illegal gardening stops now." Her voice thundered across the hills. The woman's name was Lydia Durham, director of the Department of Agricultural Compliance, a bureaucratic monster of a department created after the Great Supermarket Wars of 2038. In those days, rogue gardeners had threatened the profits of the corporate food lords, leading to mass restrictions on unauthorized flora. Lydia didn't care much for vegetables. She believed in processed food, chemically stabilized nutrients, and government-issued food packs with numbers instead of flavors. As she stormed through the school garden, flanked by clipboard-wielding assistants and overly muscular guards, she barked orders like a general at war. Destroy the tomatoes, confiscate the beans, and arrest the children. "Ma'am," an assistant whispered nervously, we can't actually arrest children." Lydia's eyes narrowed. "Fine, detain the teachers. We'll question them at the me." As Lydia posed dramatically for the government drone camera hovering overhead, one of the students secretly picked up the fallen tomato, tucking it safely into their backpack. The rebellion had begun in hushed whispers and encrypted messages sent through obsolete garden forums. The people spoke of the raid. The Pink Storm, as Lydia had been nicknamed, had made her move. But she had also made a mistake. The footage of her screaming at children over vegetables went viral overnight. It was memed, mocked, parodied in underground comedy clubs. The image of Lydia pointing like an angry dictator at rows of tomatoes became the digital graffiti of a generation. More importantly, it reignited the flames of resistance. Hidden beneath the suburbs of New Norwich was a group known only as the Root Cellar, a clandestine network of gardeners, farmers, seed savers, and ex-chefs who believed in the old ways. Their leader was a man known only as Compost Carl, a former Michelin-starred chef turned guerrilla agronomist. Carl watched the footage with steepled fingers. "She's made it personal," he muttered. Behind him, dozens of screens lit up with images of garden raids, Lydia's face, and one curious anomaly. A blurry photo of a young boy holding a perfect tomato. "We need to find that kid," Carl said, "and we need to protect him." Ellis Monroe had always loved nature. His room was filled with pressed leaves, seed catalogs, and a smuggled copy of The Joy of Composting, a banned book in most of England. After the raid, Ellis was suspended from school. His parents, terrified, warned him never to speak of tomatoes again. But Ellis couldn't forget the feeling of the fruit in his hand, the pride, the life that he waited until midnight, then snuck out of the house. The tomato still nestled in his backpack. He didn't know where he was going, only that he needed to get to someone who understood. He didn't know that Compost Carl was already looking for him on the outskirts of town. He was enters. The tomato fell. It hit the ground and cracked, seeds spilling into the soil. Lydia watched from her command van, sipping her cucumber-flavored protein pack with satisfaction. Let that be the last seed ever planted in this country. She turned away, not noticing the tiny green shoots already sprouting in the dirt. Ellis was taken to Facility 17, a rehabilitation center disguised as a vocational school. It was there that wayward farmers, rebellious cooks, and rogue botanists were retrained into proper citizens. But Ellis was clever. He played along, learning everything he could. He met others like him, people who still believed in real food, in dirt, in life. Together, they plotted, using a team of former landscape architects, bee trainers, and a retired worm wrangler named Janice. He devised a plan to infiltrate Facility 17. Their mission wasn't just to rescue Ellis. It was to recover the seed vault, a hidden chamber rumored to contain the last surviving heirloom seeds in the country. Wearing disguises and using smuggled gardening tools, the team broke in under the cover of darkness. They found Ellis. They found the seeds. But Lydia found them. The standoff happened in the middle of the facility's cafeteria. Carl, Ellis, and the team stood surrounded by Lydia's guards. Behind them were crates of stolen seeds, corn, squash, beans, herbs long thought extinct. Lydia stepped forward. You think you've won? You think these relics of the past mean anything? Carl held up a single seed. They mean everything. Suddenly, Ellis stepped forward, holding a small glass jar. Inside it was tomato pulp, the one he dropped months ago. He'd scraped it off his backpack, saved it, nurtured it. He opened the jar and spilled it onto the ground. Lydia screamed. No, it was too late. What happened next defied science, logic, and the ministry's strict laws of botanical